all the pictures are out there of little me in my Snow White
That's
gown.
why it's going to make me cry.
No, stop, because you'll make me cry.
No, don't start, please.
No.
I saw on Twitter you had posted, like, it was the sweetest picture of you in, like, the Snow White costume.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I'm so annoying.
No,
sorry.
I'm the same way. It's fine.
We're going to just, like, start talking.
Sorry, Variety.
Yeah, sorry. It's okay. We met at the Met.
Yeah.
Very
2021.
informal.
It was a tiny one. Was that your first Met? Or you had been before?
That was actually my first
That was
Met.
your first one,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah.
That was my first red carpet ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you killed it. You looked so beautiful.
Thank you.
I remember being so nervous, but I was happy because me and Chloe went together.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Because there's no +1s at the Met, which I don't think a lot of people know, that you can't just bring somebody.
That's what I know. It gives me severe anxiety because I'm like, how am I supposed to talk to anyone? Like, I have to go up to people and say stuff?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And then I saw you, I think we were all leaving.
Yeah.
When I saw you and your sister.
Yes.
And we took a photo.
Yeah.
Because they had just announced me as Snow White.
Yes.
And it was so sweet because your sister was taking the picture and then told me that I looked like the cartoon. And it was really sweet. And I carry it with me. She's the best. But both of you are just like just quintessential beautiful souls.
Oh.
And it's been that way ever since I've known you. That every time I see you, it's like, oh, thank goodness, a familiar face. Because we saw each other at D23 too.
Yes.
And you and I both were like, oh, somebody I know.
Nervous. Like, that's the exact feeling. You described it perfectly. Like, oh, thank goodness she's here. Like, I have a friend. This is going to be good. Like, so yeah, it was a lovely meeting. Yeah, I remember seeing you and I was like, oh my gosh. I think I saw you from afar in the room that day. And I was like, Chloe, we have to go up to her. I love her. She's Snow White. Like, we have to say hi. And then I was so happy we ran into each other when we walked out. It was the best.
Because there's no normal way to go up to people at the Met Gala.
Right? It's so like,
it's weird. But I'm glad, and it's been fun to, because you and I don't get to be in the same room very often. Ever. We live on opposite coasts.
This is the first day we've like actually gotten to talk and like,
about it all.
Yeah.
What a way to do it too.
I know.
I'm glad you've all joined us. For me, this is a crazy thing because I did something very similar on Hunger Games where Little Mermaid rapped.
Yes.
And then you went right on to the Color Purple set.
Yes.
How do you do that? Because I had a really tough time when I did it, to just say goodbye to one thing and then suddenly have to immerse yourself in a completely different world. Because you go from this world of intense imagination and fantasy, and then all of a sudden it's a very real shift into a very real film that is like
crazy
a lot. So how did you deal, and did it feel as smooth as somebody who's seen both films as you made it look?
Well, thanks. I guess this is like a new world for me, honestly, because I've lived so much in the musician land, the singer land all my life. Like, that's where I'm comfortable. I'm like, that's my comfort zone. Yeah. This whole acting stuff is like, whoa, like this is a whole new world. It's exciting, it's cool. But Mermaid was really my first big film.
I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now.
It was really interesting because going into something that means so much to so many people was like very overwhelming, but overwhelmingly beautiful. And so when I had wrapped it, I had just felt like such freedom and like I was so proud of myself for doing something like that I'd never known before, and, stumbled a bit along the way. But in the end, I felt like I came out way stronger. So I always talk about how I feel like Ariel taught me a lot about myself and gave me Halle's strength and showed me, you actually have strength, girl. Like, hello. So coming out of that energy into Color Purple was something that was so like beautiful for me, because I felt, number one, way more comfortable in my skin. And then number two, to get to be on a set of like an all black set
Yeah.
where you just feel like you're at a family reunion every day.
That's beautiful.
Was like the best thing ever. So it honestly was the greatest pick me up, and it was a much like smaller role, so it was so much easier, like
Yeah.
just to be really chilling on set all the time
Yeah.
and just watching my heroes like Fantasia and Taraji P. Henson and getting to hear them sing and just looking and being like, how the hell am I here? Like, just so grateful. So
Oh, I know how you're there. It's
Whatever.
so beautiful. No, it's really remarkable that your first 2 film projects are gigantic films like that.
thanks, Rachel.
Does that feel like all of us have imposter syndrome? Do you feel that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. Like, I don't know how this is happening. I'm just keep praying to God. I'm going along. I'm like, I'm grateful, you know. But yeah, same for you. I mean, I know you must feel the same because, well, first of all, a fellow Disney princess girls, Miss
Yeah.
Snow White is so amazing. And I'm so excited to see that in
Thank
April.
you.
I'm like
Thank
counting
you.
down the days.
Thank you.
And I saw Hunger Games. Woo! Which was so amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I was so excited to see it because when I was younger, I was a Twilight girl and Hunger Games girl.
wow.
So I felt like
Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like so ready to see this film, and then when I heard it was you, I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna freaking murder it.
Thanks.
And you did. Yesterday I was watching the film and I was in tears every time you opened your mouth to sing, literally. Like just pure anointment in your voice. It's just, it's so beautiful.
If we met up at midnight in the hanging tree.
But I was wondering, like, how was that? Because that's such a massive film.
Yeah.
Again, it's similar to where has such history where people care so much about the film and the franchise. And they
Yeah.
get so sensitive
Yes.
over every little thing about
Yeah.
it. How were you able to navigate going into a film like that and off of, I think, Snow White? Because you filmed Snow White first, right?
Yeah. It was very similar to what you had with Mermaid, where it was like we wrapped on a Tuesday and then I
Yes.
moved to Poland on the Wednesday and started shooting.
Oh my
So it was a hard goodbye that I feel like I mourned the wrap of Snow White while I was in the middle of kind of getting my bearings on the Hunger Games set. But you know, there's a massive pressure that you place on yourself when you're stepping into shoes like that. But then also the fan base is so huge, so dedicated. I'm one of them, so I know that how I would feel if I were watching a reboot of a franchise I adore.
Yeah.
You just want to do right by them, but Suzanne Collins, who wrote them, she's doing right by them because she created the universe. Like, she can't really
Yes.
do any wrong because it's her world that she's
Yes.
created. And I read the book when it came out in 2020, and I was in love with the character of Lucy Gray, and the fact that Frances came to me and was like, I really want you to do this. It's the biggest honor of my career thus far, and I can say that confidently, that I can't believe that I get to be a part of that franchise. And doing Junket the past 16 days, it's just been like sitting there watching the reporter, but seeing the poster next to them and seeing my face on and the Hunger Games logo beneath, and just constantly being like, this is not real. There's no way. And thank you with the vocals. It's like a huge honor coming from this side of the room.
No.
Because you cannot do any wrong vocally. You open your mouth and the heavens just go, yes. So it means a lot to me. I'm in disbelief that you've got 2 musicals this year.
You too? I mean, Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
I mean, yeah, we did that. Hello, both of us. The thing that's crazy about it is, I feel most comfortable when I am able to sing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel similar, where
do.
it's like, this is where I can open up, and then after that, I'll feel better. So, oh my gosh, the songs in Hunger Games, 'cause you sang,
thank you.
8 songs?
Yeah.
That was so beautiful.
Thank
But to
you.
me, it was like, it was something so striking about they felt like gospel hymns that they were making you sing in a way.
Yeah.
Like working with the music team and stuff for that. How was that?
It was amazing. I was really nervous when I signed on because I really wanted the fans to be able to subscribe to the fact that music fit into the plot somewhere.
Yes.
Coming from the world of musical theater, there's a lot of difficulty in trying to sell that to an audience, as I'm sure you can understand, where there's a lot of people that don't want to sit down and watch 2.5 hours of singing sometimes. And you want to make sure that it feels as organic as possible for songs to fit into a plot line like The Hunger Games. It doesn't sound right when you say it out loud. And then Francis Lawrence, our director, and Suzanne Collins, who obviously wrote the books, they had a very clear vision for what they wanted it all to sound like.
Yes.
And then we worked with the country music producer, Dave Cobb, who is so cool. He sat and he wrote and like really collaborated with Suzanne and tried to figure out that sound that she wanted, which was this like Appalachian 30s and 40s country folk. I really do agree there is some gospel in there. There's a poem that gets sung aloud called Lucy Gray that is very much sounds like a hymn.
Yes.
And I spent my weekends in the studio. So everybody was like going out enjoying Poland and Berlin and doing all those things. And I was just like in the studio making sure that this music was what we wanted. And then I sang live on set, which was crazy. And everybody keeps asking me why I did that. And I mean, you get it. There's nothing like it. You can't really capture that sound and that feeling any other way.
Yes.
And then that makes it tricky when you step onto sets like Little Mermaid or Snow White, where it's all soundstage, and so live vocal doesn't always really exist in that world. So you spent 13 hours a day in a pool. I want to know what that was like for myriad reasons, because that's really, really intense on your body. But then you're in the middle of a musical shoot where you need to be keeping up your voice.
Yes.
And you know better than anyone probably that that is a body thing too.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that it's just this muscle, but it's all these muscles working together to make that. So did that have an effect on you, like a strain on you, or did you feel like you were on it?
I think there was a lot of things that combined to, I think just my body feeling like tired a lot of the time because it was a lot based off of, well, the stunt work and, you know, being in the water, actually, I felt the lightest because, you know, you're really buoyant and stuff. And it just felt like that felt a little easier. It was just, like you said, like as singers, we're trained to take care of our vocal cords. So sometimes the chlorine, and then you're sinusy the next day, and then you have to sing. And I love what you mentioned about singing live on set, because that was something that I really wanted to do on Mermaid. And because I feel like I'm able to evoke feeling and emotion more, like in a live take with, in comparison to like a recorded version. I just feel like it comes out more in the live take, so I agree with you. So that was something that I was having to navigate, whereas on days where I would be like straight out of the water, I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to do this live. I'm not even gonna attempt to blow out my vocals. And then the days where I felt confident in my muscles, I'm like, you know what, I really just wanna get this delivery of me singing live because I feel like it'll turn out better. So there was one instance in Mermaid where, I guess the scene where I'm waiting for the prince, he's coming up the stairs or something, and or singing for the first time. Yeah.
Now for the first time, he's coming through those doors.
So at the ending, that whole section I was able to sing live, which I was really grateful for, because it's kind of hard when you're trying to mouth that emotion to like a recording.
100%. Quite literally, without the pun intended, but you blew everybody out of the water. It's an amazing feat, and I'm so impressed. And I truly think that any naysayer out there, because there are always people who have something to say.
Yeah, always.
You prove them wrong with grace.
Thank you.
I was so inspired by the way you handled anybody who had anything bad to say about it.
Thank you.
I give you so much credit, and you and I have always been, I think, kind defenders of each other online.
Yes.
I think I would be willing to fight a little because that's who I am as a person. But yeah, there's always such chatter around it. And did you ever let it affect you at all? you definitely didn't
course.
publicly.
Yeah, I mean, we're sensitive.
Yeah.
We are human
We're
beings.
actors too.
We're actors. Like, hello, I get my feelings hurt if my cat doesn't want to sit next to me. Like, literally. So,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
like, and I think that's what people don't realize a lot of the times when, you know, you're put in fortunate situations like us where you're granted great opportunities and able to be seen on massive screens. Like, it's amazing. But I think there is sort of a dissociation. People think that they start taking you away from being a real human being.
Yeah.
So that have feelings and react to things. So yeah, that was definitely something that I had to navigate. But it turned out to be the most beautiful lesson to me, just to block any naysayers or negativity out. And for me, you know, I found that it helped me. I used it to my advantage. Like when it came to doing like the long press days, or it came to like even taking into my own personal music that I was writing. Like I was using it as fuel to help me with my artistry. And, you know, I think that's the only way I could get over it. And as well as just, you know, surrounding myself with people that love me.
Yeah.
You know, my sister will go to war about me. So I'm like, yeah. And then also, I'm an Aries, so I'm like, I'm a fire sign.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, because people are like, oh, she's so sweet, she's so nice. But a lot of times when I see stuff online, I get mad and I want to say something, I want to respond, but I'll just be like, no, you know what, it's okay.
Yeah.
And same to you, like the way you are just so graceful and respond and it's just the most beautiful thing to see. Because it's hard being women under the spotlight. People are so critical and just say anything that they would never say to your face.
No.
So yeah, how has that been for you, being able to navigate it?
You know, choosing thankfulness and gratefulness is choosing peace. And as much as you'd like to remind people verbally that being in the spotlight doesn't absolve you of your humanity, that you're allowed to have human moments.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do, and it fuels them more.
Yes, exactly.
And so, just as you said, it's like choosing to be present and know that they're probably just having a really hard day.
Yes.
And I am putting out a movie.
Amen. That's right.
And I feel so thankful for those moments because it started to make me feel like solid Teflon.
Yes.
That it can't really, that nothing can hurt anymore because they've said the worst that can be said, and you just kind of say, thank you so much for this. I have a lot of love in my life.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful.
Amen.
And you know, we get to do our work and have that speak for itself instead, which is exactly what you've done. And
you too. I love the saying, my godmom says it a lot. You throw stones and I'll build a bridge out of them. Isn't that nice?
that is nice.
I love
no,
that.
it's true though.
Yeah.
Because we're making things that make people connect with one another. And there are people out there who say things that make people want to not come together. That make people want to fight. And it's just not worth the time and energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we just stay graceful and ignore the hate. Hello.
Exactly. Exactly that. I did want to, because you were talking about how you let it fuel your music.
Yes.
We're just nominated for a Grammy for Angel. How does that feel? Because obviously you've been in this, you've had an amazing music career with your sister for so long. And now not only are you writing songs for yourself, solo music, getting Grammy nominations for that's crazy. And then you wrote a song you wrote 2 songs? Or you wrote, right?
A song
for Color Purple,
Yeah,
for Keep It Moving. Like, what does that mean to you to get to merge both careers that you've so gracefully taken on? Yeah. To get to do like the songwriting, the singing for the acting as well.
Yeah.
Did that make you nervous? Did they come to you about like asking you, do you want to do this? Or did you feel like, I want to pitch this and do it? Like, what was the process like?
Wow. Well, thanks for that question.
Of course. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess, well, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I literally feel most comfortable when I'm in my music space. That's where I'm happiest. That's where I feel like I have the most freedom. So when it comes to combining this new world of acting that I'm, not as used to, it's really cool to be able to incorporate that as well as, my songwriting, which has been a blessing. So for The Color Purple, I was so excited that Blitz Bazawule actually had asked me to write a song for the film from young Nettie's perspective. And the movie is filled with the amazing songs already. So when I first heard that, I'm like intimidated.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell am I gonna write something that lives up to all these other songs? And, but I was really grateful for it because I felt like I could pull from my experience with my own sister, Chloe, because the story of Celie and Nettie is just all about hope and joy, and young Nettie becomes her thread of just hope throughout the whole movie. I was just grateful to be able to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
It came together nicely. And as far as like the other stuff, like with Angel, I was really excited to put out a song, but I was so nervous to do it by myself.
Of course.
Because I'm a baby sister.
Yeah.
So with Chloe, she's like always been there to hold my hand and be like, you got this, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, she's always been the one to push me out and get in the water. So when it came to Angel, I just really I prayed to God, and I just pulled from my experience of working on Mermaid and hearing all these things and all this chatter and just channeling it into something greater. And I remember what really struck me was seeing all of the videos of the beautiful Black and brown children who were reacting.
Sobbed my eyes out looking at those. Truly, yeah.
And I was just in tears. I was sobbing over the fact that they felt like they could see themselves in me. So I guess just using all of that. Sorry if I was rambling.
No. I mean, to piggyback off of that, it was such a moment on social media when the Little Mermaid trailer came out. And all of these young children, young Black children in particular, those videos getting posted of them reacting and being so happy that she's Black. How was that for you? Because sometimes that can be very overwhelming. And be like, oh, no, I can't look at that. Or was it something that, I mean, obviously you welcome it in because it's a beautiful moment, but what was that like for you?
It truly was astonishing. Like, I just was sobbing anytime I saw a video of them react and say, she looks like me. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself at first. I would just be in tears and just so grateful to see them be happy about it. And it was also like, I don't know, I guess these babies were like armor for me in a way to like put on whenever I felt I was getting consumed with other chatter of what I had heard about my casting initially. So these babies' videos were like, oh my gosh, this is the only validation I need from anyone.
Exactly.
And then same for you. I mean, being an amazing Latina woman as Snow White, like, first of all, wow. And you are opening so many doors for your whole community as well. Like, what has that felt like? And has that been different or difficult to step into that world for you? Is it pressure? What do you feel?
I mean, definitely pressure. The cartoon's so beloved. It's like a monumental moment in film history. It was like the first feature-length cartoon movie, to the point where it won honorary Oscars and all of these amazing things that happened for that film are the reason that you and I really get to sit here today, because it made Disney what it is. So of course there's like this pressure of being the first one, having to bring to life the first one, and obviously that's come with a lot of pressure that I've put on myself. And also, I mean, much like Hunger Games, there's just a very dedicated group of people who love Disney cartoons. I'm one of them. You know, I love everything that the Disney company has put out in the past a million years, 100 years this year. And so
100, that's crazy.
And so, like, you know, how do you put little baby Rachel at ease with what you're doing in your career? Like, how is it that you come to this role and make little Rachel proud? And that was really what I used to fuel my emotion on that set and who I was, because all the pictures are out there of little me in my Snow White gown.
That's why it's gonna make me cry.
No, stop, because you'll make me cry.
No, don't start, please.
No,
because
no.
I saw on Twitter you had posted like it was the sweetest picture of you in like the Snow White costume.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I'm so annoying.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm the same way. It's fine.
We're gonna just like start talking.
Sorry, Variety.
Sorry. Okay. But it was the sweetest picture, and you just are like so sweet and little and filled with like so much joy and the biggest smile on your face. And it's like that little girl is still in you.
Yeah.
And like she's so proud of you.
Yeah, she wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Like truly.
Like
And
that's so amazing.
I mean, talk about counting your blessings and thanking whatever it is that brought me here. And yeah, I mean, and obviously for my community, it's a huge moment. And I hope that it's not one of those moments that we hear about in the news where it's like, oh, the first in amount of years. It's the first, like, I don't want it to be one of those where this is, you know, with 25 years from now, it's like, oh, the next Latina playing a Disney princess is in 25 years. I want it to be this revolving door and not just I opened one door and one person walked through. Like, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's and it's also like you just want to do right by your community so badly. And I know that Snow White is a huge moment for them, as is the Hunger Games. Just as The Color Purple, when Steven Spielberg made the first movie, when LaChanze brought the musical to Broadway, when Fantasia was on Broadway with the musical, Cynthia Erivo did it on Broadway, and now your new cast being there. It's such an incredible story to be told.
I'll come visit you when I can. Even if we have to part, you and me. Us have one heart.
On the subject of Disney, one of the most iconic I Want songs, which almost didn't even make it into the original cartoon, Part of Your World.
Yes.
Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun.
So you have to sing that. So you're Halle Bailey, and you're sitting there and you're like, I have to sing this iconic Disney song. Recording it, shooting it, what's going through your head? And when you got to watch it fully rendered, because obviously there's a lot of CG involved.
Yes.
What is the thought process? Go.
So, Part of Your World, that sequence was a really, really hard 3 days of fake swimming around.
Yeah.
So I was harnessed
You were
in the
on wires.
air, on wires, and then in the tuning fork and having to do all these stunts, as well as mouth the emotion and sing. It was just a lot. I was like so overstimulated. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But of course, the little girl in me was so excited to sing that song because, I mean, I love that song.
Yeah,
we all love
we
that
all
song.
love that song.
Jodie Benson freaking killed that song.
Yeah.
It's like your go-to karaoke song. So
Truly.
I remember feeling like this weight of, okay, I have to do a good job. Vocally, like I have to, because I have to make Jodie Benson proud and the rest of the people that have fallen in love with the song as well. So I was grateful that I had freedom to kind of, you know, switch it a little bit and do certain riffs and things and try not to get stuck in this mold of trying to be a copy of, because, you know, I could never be a copy of Jodie Benson's work. So I literally just had to kind of be free in that way with the recording of it. So the recording was fun. And then when I actually got on set to film it, that was when it was like, oh my gosh, because I had to swim and do all these things. But, you know, there's such a desperate plea and like a cry for help that she has in that song. And, you know, the melodies of the song are almost kind of really happy a little bit, and it feels happier than it sounds lyrically. So when I really went into studying the lyrics, I just felt so like bad for her, and I felt that she had this yearning and she really felt like she didn't belong. So just trying to channel all those emotions and stuff while having to swim around in circles and everything. It was a lot. I remember I broke down crying like 3 times at the ending crescendo. It's like this one scene where I have to I threw myself back and swim into the tunnel.
Yeah.
And every moment I would just burst out kind of crying. And, you know, Rob Marshall is so wonderful. He's like, yeah, like that's what we want. Like, just, it's okay. So, because I was getting overwhelmed that I was getting so emotional.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful, beautiful time. And so the Snow White fan in me, I am like so curious about the music. I mean, I don't know what you can and can't say since it's not out yet, but how was that experience, getting to sing those songs? And first of all, nobody could have done it better. It's your voice, you're just a powerhouse.
Oh, thank you.
So I can't wait to hear. After hearing the Hunger Games songs, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna freaking blow it out the water for the Snow White. So how was that?
I mean, intense. Just like you said, it's like, oh God, this is an iconic thing that people really care about. I don't want to mess this up for anybody, including myself. Obviously, the writers and Mark Webb, our director, and our entire producing team, it's you know, a bit different story-wise, and so we were able to do Whistle While You Work, which made me really happy and excited. And I was honestly just really nervous more about the technical element, because obviously that first look image went out, and there is a lot of CGI in the film. Most of that day was spent with singing to nothing, which I'm sure you also know how that can be, because there was a lot of puppetry and then CGI in post, and so it was really intense, and there's a lot of bloopers of me, you know, like tossing a broom and then letting it like fall to the ground, because that's apparently how you pass things off to CGI characters. But it's so much fun. Like, it goes back down to the root of why these movies were so successful when they came out, is because they captured the human emotion so well, and the things that make us joyful and also the things that make us cry. They're able to tug on those heartstrings so well. They're very good at what they do, which is why they've been around for 100 years. But I remember when I worked with Stephen Sondheim on West Side Story, we were talking about the concept of an I Want song, because Maria in West Side Story doesn't really have one. The I Want song is because you are bereft of something. It is painful. You know, you go to the crux of all of the most iconic I Want songs in musicals. I want adventure in the great white somewhere. I want to be where the people are. You have like The Wizard and I from Wicked, which is like, I want people to treat me like a normal person. Like, it really goes down to that. So it makes perfect sense to me that you would burst into tears at that. She wants something that she doesn't have. And that is, from a child's perspective, the most heartbreaking thing is not having the thing that you want. And then it travels into adulthood too. So, I mean, I was saying to my boyfriend when I saw Little Mermaid that if you could give an award for most expressive eyes in Hollywood, it would go to you. Because you have to spend a lot of that movie not saying a thing. And you see everything that you're trying to say.
Really?
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, I mean it so wholeheartedly. I also mean it about your counterpart in it. Jonah's amazing.
He's killing it.
He's so beautiful, and the two of you are so beautiful together in that movie. From the standpoint of, you don't get to talk too much, but you have to still show. Obviously, you were given songs that you got to sing, which is fantastic. But is that hard?
Yeah,
That's gotta be
really
hard.
hard.
Yeah.
Because I got caught up in thinking like, oh no, I hope my brows aren't like freezing in like one place.
I get that.
Yeah. Evoke emotion. But yeah, I had to try to put fake lines in my head of what I would say in between people, because it's too hard to just be like,
yeah, because you're not a cartoon in real life.
Yeah, it was hard. But what you were saying was so beautiful, and it made me think of because you have a musical theater background, don't you?
I do.
So how is that, like, playing into all these massive films that you're doing now? Like, do you feel like it's helped you, or?
I do. I particularly felt that way on The Hunger Games, funnily enough, which is like the least musical theater movie you can do. But obviously the singing aspect in it is very helpful. And I'm a country singer in that movie, and I'm not in real life, like at all. You know, I'm from New York. It's just not in me. So having the 10 years of vocal training that I've had is definitely very helpful.
Yeah.
Because even when I didn't think I needed it, my vocal coach Joan later taught me how to use a lilt when you're singing, how to yodel, where you can sing in an aspirated way and have it come down into a chest voice, and all of those things, where your larynx is positioned, it all came into play in such a beautiful way in this film that you'd think she planned it for me as some kind of exercise. Where it was like, truly like, because on The Hanging Tree, there's a lot of yodel in that, in a song that I sing in the arena when I've won the Hunger Games.
When I've conquered my fears right here in the old there before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had chills all over my body watching you sing that song with the snakes coming up your arms and everything. I'm like,
Thank you.
were those real snakes? They looked real. How did you do that?
They did
What
look
happened?
real. They did look real, and I was really impressed watching it because you kind of see them like wrap around the fabric of my dress, and it looks very real. They were not. Those weren't, but I did have 2 real snakes in the movie. The one that I stuffed down the girl's dress in the beginning.
Oh, fire.
That was real.
Iconic.
Yeah, that was actually like a sleight of hand trick, because during the shooting process, I really learned how to deal with snakes.
Really?
And you don't ever go, like if this was his head, you never go like this. You're not supposed to do that because that scares them.
Yeah.
Because they can only see from the side of their heads. So if you do this, they get scared and they'll bite you. You don't want to do that. So I was like, they wanted me to put this snake in my pocket. And I was like, I'm not doing that because I don't want to scare the snake, and also I don't want it to bite me.
Yeah.
So it really, like, the first shot you see of me is of the back of my head, and then I walk into the center and walk up stage. And I just kind of had it sitting here. And then while the camera went up to my head, I passed it to this hand and made it look like it was coming out of my pocket, and then stuffed it down this lovely Isabel Jasper Jones back, who gives the most incredible horror movie scream that you've ever heard in your life. But yeah, not real snakes in that scene.
Wow.
But
Well, you would never
It was
know.
really hard to pretend
Really?
that it was, because she's supposed to be like kind of terrified, wondering why they're not biting her. She doesn't know what's going on really.
Yeah.
And her one instinct is to sing and pray basically that this is all gonna be okay for her. And that was like one of my first days on set. That was like probably my 6th or 7th.
Oh my gosh.
Because we filmed the games in succession. Like we did all of the games first because we only had that location for an allotment of days. And so that was certainly an intense one for me.
That was a lot of stunt work. You
That
were
was a lot,
falling.
yeah.
I was like, is she okay? The rubble falling everywhere.
That was styrofoam rubble, thank God.
Oh wow. It looked so
But
real.
it was all in heels and all like real. I did 95% of my own stunts. I do want to say, wire work is hard. Yeah, I was watching your Instagram videos. You make that look so graceful.
Thank you.
In a way. 'Cause I had to do some stuff for Snow White, nothing, not 13 hours of pretending that I'm swimming around. When you are doing that, first of all, painful.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts.
As a girl, it's like all up in your
It's
business.
all up in the business. It is.
You're literally being held up by there. It's like, ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch it come to fruition, fully rendered under the sea, are you like, that wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so weird to see. Weirdly amazing, of course, because
Yeah.
I'm like, how did we go from, well, first of all, I looked like an alien most of the time when we were filming because I had on
The cap.
the VFX cap.
For sure.
And they like tried to fit all my hair under, so I'm like this.
Oh, babe.
And then I had on like the leotard and everything. But it's crazy, like looking at how do we go from this to this? It's insane how
It's
they
an
did
art
it.
form in
Yeah.
itself. I do believe
Yeah.
that. Like, the VFX artists on Disney projects are next level.
Yeah. And I can't believe those snakes look so real. Like you were reacting. I mean, that was just, I love that. I think that was my favorite part of the whole movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
I'm so thankful. That one was hard. And then they had, like, when they played it for everybody in the academy to, like, react to the ending, they were actually playing it for the students to watch. I was mortified.
Why?
I, like, came in to get COVID tested that day, and I walked in, I could hear myself, and then, I see myself, like, staring down the camera, looking so angry. I was like, I can't watch. I don't know how you are.
It's hard.
I can't watch you do you watch playback on set? Me neither.
I try not to.
No.
When there's pictures and stuff, I want to see how I'm posing and stuff. But
Of course.
I get so critical of my face. I'm like, I can't.
No,
watch.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I think Hunger Games is the first, because Francis never made me watch playback, but I was so like, I don't want to see that, and
Yeah.
very determined in not seeing it. So
Yeah.
actually seeing the film was like a completely different experience than I've ever had before.
You
So
killed it. It was so amazing. Like,
what a year
so
you've had,
amazing.
though. I'm so excited for everyone to. Oh, it's like the Halle Bailey takeover of the world. It's all going to plan.
Oh my
I feel like I
gosh.
planned this. It's my plan.
That's so sweet.
This is my
As our
simulation.
Rachel, hello.
No.
Oh my gosh, literally.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt of your face.
Should we both get one
Let's
of each
do it.
other's faces?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Halle.